Well, if it's your first really time doing something like that, that's pretty good. I mean, you have something that doesn't exist. You have a sketch, and you carried it on to use the lighting assignment to put the lighting on the character, and it looks great. But let's go ahead and dive into this and see what we can improve. But regarding coming up with themes and stuff, oftentimes it's like not very straightforward, and it will require some brainstorming and personal ideas that you might have. Like if you got together with some friends and you're like, hey, we got to make a game. All right, well, what inspires you? Oh, well, this idea of, I don't know, jungle safari. Okay, well, who's doing it? Well, maybe it's not a human, but I don't know, penguins that wear hats. And it could really be anything. So when it comes to an assignment like this for a class, by that very nature, it can't really be, or it's rare that it's something that you're really passionate about, because it's just a learning thing. Everything is there with what I wanted you to learn out of it. But anyway, so let's take a look at this. When I zoom out, it's a pretty clear read. I can see that it's a character, male, human head. And as I zoom in, things get a little bit muddy, but it's still pretty good. So let's talk about the muddiness. The thing that's working really well is the fact that, you've established the lighting scenario. You have this top light coming in like this, and this kind of bottom rim light on the left side. That's very clear. So that's like, good job. However, the way it's distributed could be a little bit better. So in the same way that, this egg sort of has its different regions, you have this kind of core shadow region, and then it fades out into the midtones. And then there's like the mid-tone region, and then the highlight, which is the reflection of the lighting. And then back to mid-tones on this side. However, things get a little bit flat here, and I think it's a pretty good opportunity to try to figure out what these zones are onto this. So I guess that's a long way to say, for each of these, we'll call them wireframes, where we have the brow ridge, the side of the skull here, the ear, cheekbones. Like, they're receiving the highlight the way they should be, but taking it to the next level is going to require a more careful treatment. But I know you did say that this is a work in progress, but this is how I would recommend taking it forward. So in the same way that we delineated, saying this is like one area, and then that's the next area, and there, and then blue again to represent like back into midtones. That same kind of information we're going to drag over here. And I know it's not a sphere that we're working with, but somehow we can stretch that information to sort of reflect it. And so without actually using those wireframes, what I'm going to do is make this gradate a little bit differently. Grab that highlight. Well, it's more of a midtone here. Let it sit right there so it shows the form a little bit better as it goes back into midtone, because we know the brow ridge comes down at a slant. And I'm exaggerating a little bit, of course. And then we need a little bit of a brighter color just to be that highlight. So now we're having all three of those sections sort of show up. And as it curves into the furrowing of the eyebrow here, it's almost like a cylinder, which will also have those same value groups. And over here, I'm actually gonna go ahead and put this in shadow and then fade to light this way to imply that the light source is here or somewhere up there, hitting there and having a bit of a fall off as you go outward. Because that's sort of what's being indicated with the light here. Light source and then fall off. And so what that will do is it'll really help show the form a bit more effectively. And so now when you zoom out, it feels more of an illustration. So if I turn that off, that layer, it flattens out. It's not very clear. Bring it back. Now we're really controlling how that light is working. And then we can go ahead and do that onto the nose a little bit. Fade downward. And I do also tend to make noses dark like that. But I think first let's establish the hierarchy of those value groups. And then shade outward like this. And then I can bring it back to be a little bit darker. But I guess the main thing missing to make this look like a concept that you can kind of pass off is the clarity of the form read. And whether it's a concept or an illustration, these are the elements that need to be worked on. Now, I know this is clearly stylized, but I do feel like the eyes are a little bit too big. I might make them a bit smaller. So let's go ahead and merge that down. And to do that, I'm just going to select that area, Control-Shift-X for liquefy. And press S for squeeze. That's this one over here. And just like click a little bit onto each eye. And also, this is a really good tool to help with ideation and exploration of proportions, because we can really take that eye and move it very far apart if you want, just to see how silly it is, and that's fine too. Everything is valid. So I am actually going to make them a little bit further apart and press OK. And so turn that off and turn it back on. Right. And so notice the form read is far clearer.
Yeah, it works way better.
Yeah. But it just goes back to, figuring out what these are and how we transfer that lighting scenario onto this. I think you did a great job with the lighting down here. With the rim light, it feels nice, but as we go up here, we're losing it a little bit. And then you can also do a fun trick with the hair here, because right now it feels like it's really like flat and it needs to have kind of separated clumps. And so you want to imagine that they're like separated bacon strips. Like there's a strip and then there's another strip underneath it. And if there's something underneath it, there's going to be a bit of a shadow from one bacon strip to the other and then the other. And so having said that, it's like if we carve into that, we'll just use a flat round brush. Like this, which is, a way to do shape design within the hair by separating the clumps into different sizes like this. Then you zoom out, it's like, okay, now we're getting a bit more of a form read there. And then you can finesse those highlights to be at the, wherever the bacon polygons are facing the light, you make them brighter, which you were already doing. But as we see here, there's a pretty strong highlight. So let's go ahead and imply that here as well. So we'll add a bit of hue with that yellow. So now it's like far more of a stylized indication. And having said that, I think the final thing that we'll assume that we went through every part and we clarified the lighting to be more geometric, and we did our blending and all that. The last thing I would do is probably have a bit more of a harmonious color grading, because right now I think the light feels warm on the top, and then you have the blue light in the bottom left. That's good. But the in-between places feel a bit gray. So I think I want to make a bit more of a color statement with overlay. Set a new layer to overlay, lower the opacity to maybe 40. Using the airbrush, just fill in these areas that feel a bit gray, all down here. Like this, just everywhere. Now, granted, it feels like it's way too red alert. We could either make it yellow instead, or something, but from there I would lower it down to even lower percentage, maybe 20 or 15 or 14. So if you turn it off, it's back to being gray. You turn it back on, it fills it in, which is really nice to look at. And one last thing, I know I said that was the last thing, but this one will just kind of help the liveliness of the character. Just these little specular highlights in the eye, because the eyes are pretty much glossy objects and have reflectivity. Regarding the form read on the clothing, that's pretty good. Like, you've clarified that clearly this is all the stuff.